Overlay is a retrofit floor heating system for existing floors. It's just 18mm thick and consists of just a few key components: the 12mm diameter overlay pipe and end returns. These are common to both overlay systems. The overlay floor panel, used for heavyweight floor coverings and joined with a glue. The overlay light panel is used for lightweight floor coverings and is joined with the self-adhesive aluminium tape. The overlay panel is a dense fibreboard panel and is used for heavyweight floor coverings or floor coverings which need to be fixed permanently to the floor panel, such as natural wood, which can be secretly screwed to the panel itself. It's also used for tile and slate floor coverings, where these are laid and adhered directly to the floor after installation. Overlay light is a high compressive strength insulated floor panel. It's used for lightweight floor coverings, such as laminates or engineered laminates, which can be laid directly to the panel. It's also used with carpet or vinyl coverings, when first you'd use a 6mm plywood to cover the panel before the carpet or vinyl. To start installing an overlay floor heating system, you first need to determine which corner we're going to start the installation in. This is usually a nice 90-degree corner to make it simple. It's also usually the corner in which the pipes are going to enter and exit the room, and therefore we're going to leave this pipe plate on the back of the end returns. 2 plates are laid in the first corner of the room. Next, we're going to lay the first full overlay panel into that corner. Just laying it and aligning it up with the grooves in the end returns. The panels are simply glued together. We're going to use the overlay adhesive, and on the first row we're simply going to glue along this edge. Remember, when we're gluing, to use gloves. We don't want to get glue on our hands because it is very sticky. After the glue's been applied to that panel, we simply push the panels together, making sure again that the grooves are properly aligned in the 2 panels. One useful tip to make sure that the boards stay aligned is to use some offcuts of 12mm barrier pipe and simply put them between the grooves as the panels are laid together. We also recommend that the panels are stapled together. This will keep these aligned until the glue's set. When we come to the end of the first row, we'll need to cut the overlay panel, and this needs to be cut again, allowing for the end return. And this end return will probably have this pipe plate removed, as we no longer need it to run return pipe in. This can be removed by simply scoring down the groove at the back of the end return that's moulded into the plate. Overlay floor panels are quite easy to cut using either a handsaw or a jigsaw. Please remember, when you're cutting with either of these tools, always use a particle mask. And simply repeat this on subsequent rows until the room area has been completed. The next row we're going to start with a half panel. This means the panels are laid in a brick effect, which guarantees more strength to the overlay floor. When all the floor panels and end returns have been laid, before laying the pipe, another little tip is just clear out any excess glue that may have spilled out between the grooves, again using a little short end of pipe. Where it might be required, you may want to screw the end returns down using the pre-formed screw holes already moulded into the plate. This just gives a little bit of extra security. When we start laying the pipe,
We need to first ensure that we've left enough pipe for future connection to either the ZRU or the manifold. We then simply lay the pipe into the first end return panel and into the groove of the first overlay panel.
And simply work back from that position.
Each circuit of overlay pipe covers a maximum of 11 square metres. So once that area has been completed,
Simply put the pipe in the last end return and return it along the pipe plate back to the ZRU or manifold, leaving space behind that pipe for subsequent rows and connections of pipework.
if after or during the installation of the pipe, any pipe sits slightly proud of the groove,
It's okay just to give it a tap down.
it won't damage the pipe or the overlay panel at all.
Overlay light panels for lightweight floor coverings are laid in exactly the same way. Simply laid the first panel up to the end returns and then lay the second row once the first row is completed, aligning it again with the end returns alongside the first row. When the first two rows have been laid, simply join the first two rows together using the self-adhesive aluminium tape along the long joint in the panels. Once the panels and pipe have been laid, you can tape across the short joints, taping the end returns to the end panels. Cutting overlay light panels is very simple, simply using a steel rule, marking the cut and scoring through slowly and carefully with a knife. Once the pipe has been laid, the panels can be taped together across the shorter joints using the aluminium tape, also securing the pipe in position until the floor covering is laid.
When the panels and the pipe are laid, the overlay floor heating system is completed. All that's now left to do is to put the floor covering down. If you're choosing laminate or tiles, this can go directly on top of the overlay floor heating system. Alternatively, if you're using carpet or vinyl, simply lay a 6mm ply over the top of the overlay before you lay the floor covering, obviously making sure that you don't staple the pipes during the installation of the plywood.